Welcome to another APL Spotlight series, an offshoot of the Angels Positivity and Love show. We've been at it for like 2.5 years now. That's 330 episodes booked into September of 2026. Right now, though, we're doing the APL Spotlight series. We just have the grooviest guests back on, even if we're front running their actual appearance on the main show. We're so backlogged there. Today, coming to us from California, absolutely amazing background. Saybrook University for her. I'm going to say it's for her master's and PhD. Undergrad, UNC, Wilmington, psychology. She wears many hats. I would say the biggest thing I'd want you to have as a takeaway, you, the audience, thank you for being here, is a healing presence. And she, again, is a somatic therapist, loves music and believes music can bring it all out within you. A connection to all there is, a connection to your authentic presence, and to the universe. So you don't have to spend necessarily 10 years at an ashram. But she's going to explain a lot of this. She's a trauma relationship expert. I'd like to welcome Leah Taylor, PhD, to the show. Leah, good to see you again.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm really excited to be here.
Leah, let's go a million miles up. There's been so many different ways that humanity is trying to burst out. Whether we're talking UFO disclosure, or we're talking spiritual stuff, or we're talking India, or just mankind maybe finally loosening up all over again to allow more, love more, and get going with a little more peace, harmony, and so on, in spite of the Middle East right now. What's your big picture reminder for us all? Are we alone in the universe? Is mankind the only casino on the Vegas Strip?
No, I do not think so at all. And yeah, I mean, I would say just get yourself in places that remind yourself of that connection, whatever that is for you, whether it's nature or for me, definitely being at live music reminds me to my connection of everything in the cosmos and puts it into perspective. I think that that's really important because we can get caught up in all of these places of division, if we get caught up in that, and it's like an act of defiance and of self-love and of self-preservation to get ourselves into the places that remind us of our connection to everything and whatever that means to everybody, and also to be open to the fact that yeah, we are not we are not the only ones, we are not the only beings. And I listen to a lot of spiritual teachers that are talking about just how the time is coming that we're going to start seeing different different aspects and different dimensions. And I think that it's also really important to listen to a lot of different people, the people that you resonate with, to just remind us of all of the possibilities.
Who do you think has been the most fun for you in the last like 2 to 5 years? We'll skip some of the main folks. Maybe it's Don Miguel Ruiz or Eckhart Tolle who got us kind of jump started in a way, or back to Jane Roberts and Seth in the 1970s for New Age stuff. Who have you really enjoyed lately?
So, one person that I really enjoy is actually an astrologer, and it's Pam Gregory, who is based in England. Do you know Pam Gregory? So I love her. She has like a grandmotherly energy, but she's just like so grounded and present, and she brings a lot of the science of astrology to it. But then she has all kinds of people on. She has a really big YouTube channel. She has a lot of different interviews that she does with all kinds of people, and whenever I listen to her videos, like I just feel so hopeful and so inspired about where we're going, and that can be really important in today's world.
I love it. Okay, so we're getting to a linear interview in just a second, although we'll go non-linear later, maybe do some experiential stuff. First, what could you share with us that was an experience with the universe? Maybe it's the concert experience that kind of jump-started you into something broader instead of like
Mhm.
the 9 to 5. Um,
Mhm.
have you met anybody ever on a town street or in the middle of nowhere, a sparkly-eyed stranger who said something to you, you turn, they're gone? Do you have one of those as well?
Mm. Well, I'll start with the kind of experience, which was a concert, and it actually happened in North Myrtle Beach at the House of Blues when I was 18 years old. I had just graduated from high school, And I had seen concerts before. I mean, I don't have any real musicians in my family, but my dad owned a music store, so I grew up around music and his manager would feed me like it was a university town and so he was like this is what all the kids are listening to and he just like feed me all the music and I just music was my therapy. It was my escape. It helped me get through, a childhood that felt very lonely and isolated. And then my dad took me to my first concert, actually, which was Bon Jovi when I was 8 years old, living on a prayer. And so I had seen the Allman Brothers, I had seen Dave Matthews, I had seen um, who else had I seen? Widespread Panic, like bands along the lines of like psychedelic rock that like kind of open up the boundaries of exploration and I'm sorry about that and things like that. So I had plenty of opportunities to go there with music, but I hadn't had that experience until Rusted Root at the House of Blues in North Myrtle Beach. And I just remember being what I like to say taken. Like it I didn't go in with the experience of like I'm gonna have a transcendent experience. I had no expectations that way. I didn't even seek out Rusted Root. It just happened to be who was playing while we were there. But during that concert, my whole body, mind, spirit was just like taken on a journey and it was not my own. And that was the first time, first of all, that I was not thinking for like that hour and a half or 2 hours, however long the show was, which I was a very thinking intellectual person and very split between my mind and body. So that was my first experience of like mind, body, spirit wholeness, my first spiritual experience of like feeling connected to something larger than myself and not feeling like I was just limited to my own body. And it really just like blew me open. And it made me, I mean, I think this is probably my astrological chart and just like who I am, but it sent me on a search of like, I have to figure out what happened and I need to figure out how I can help other people experience that. Because if I can experience it, other people can experience it. And I think that's so important for us to get that we are not just our mind and that we are not just our body and that at the same time we do have these minds and bodies and that they can be aligned mind body and spirit and I mean music and dance have been used since the beginning of time for healing and elevation and so yeah that was the thing that like really set me on my path of the non-traditional route. Even though I did go through like the therapist training route, but I got my master's in somatic psychology, which was actually from JFK, John
That's
F.
right.
Kennedy.
JFK.
It
Still in California, right? Yes.
is in California.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Um,
then the PhD in mind body medicine through Saybrook, where I did my dissertation on the experience of live music and how it relates to well-being.
and Saybrook's a really big deal, big center for spirituality and studies, science, and so on.
Yes.
Okay, because of that concert, how many decades of experience did you get out of that? Because that was kind of like the gas in the tank. And then how
Mhm.
many extra modalities did you check out along the way? And can you describe that journey just a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I kind of just focused on the music for a while. I mean, I saw that right before I started my bachelor's degree and I was I was doing school in Wilmington. I mean, I sought out different dance classes like belly dance. I think I dabbled in meditation at that time. But I really put my focus on going to concerts and like just continuing to be in that place of, again, I didn't know how to let myself go on my own. I felt like I needed, and at that time, like I was drinking, I was smoking pot, I was doing other things also to loosen myself up to allow myself to be taken. And then the music, because it's such a sensory overload, would be the thing that would like the vehicle that would get me to that place. And so I focused on bands that would kind of take me there, like I found Fish. And that was like really I mean, Fish is such a huge experience. Apart from just the show, it is the community. It is the way they show up. I feel like those four guys and their vulnerability. And there's such it's like a relationship between them and the audience. They haven't gone like the big pop star route. They really cultivate a relationship with their audience, and in the fact that they never play the same show twice, they don't use a set list. Like they're also extremely spiritual in the fact that they they are guided by the moment, they are guided by source. And nobody knows exactly what is going to happen, but it's like you go into the show, and everybody like hops on this journey. And if you're open to it, right, you go together, and maybe you experience something magical and mystical, and maybe you just have a good time, or maybe like it's an off night and it's not as transformative as it can be in other times, but you never know. So you show up open and that was my whole thing. It's like a lot of my work, especially with Embodied Groove, which is the modality that I really created after. I mean, I've been a mover for my whole life. Like when I was in kindergarten, I would be with my neighbor and we'd be like choreographing dances, waiting for the school bus. It's like I've loved moving, and I did it the like performative route in the beginning. But that show at Rusted Root, where my body was just moving the whole time, that's what really led me to, I just want to move my body in joyful ways. Like, and I don't want to have to do it for anybody else. This is therapy for me. And so I trained as a Nia instructor, which is a fusion kind of dance class. It's been around for probably 35 to 40 years. It was created in the North Bay, in the Bay Area outside of San Francisco. And it combines nine different movement forms. So three from the healing arts, three from the martial arts, and three from the dance arts. It was done barefoot. It was developed by a fitness instructor and her husband, who was a tennis pro. And they just like immerse themselves in all these different modalities, like from Tai Chi to Aikido to Taekwondo, yoga, the Alexander technique, Feldenkrais, jazz, modern, and Duncan dance. Those are the nine modalities. And they just took what they loved from all of them, because the fitness instructor was noticing that people were getting hurt. It's like they're not listening to their body. There's a lot of no pain, no gain. There's a lot of, it's just not, it was effective maybe for exercise, but it wasn't the mind, body, spirit practice that they knew that they could have. So I got trained in Nia. I did that for like 15 years. And then I was actually in a Nia class, dancing, when I had this epiphany that I needed to start a live music dance class. And I needed to combine my experience as a movement teacher, my love for movement, and also everything that I knew about the benefits of having that relational experience. Because again, that goes back to relational healing, right? And how important the relationship is for healing, how important us feeling connected to something else larger is for healing. And so I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And so I created Embodied Groove. And I can't remember why I started talking about that, but
No, it's okay.
that's a modality that I now teach.
That was fantastic. Okay, we're gonna go to like tactical, 1 inch off the ground level, as detailed as possible. Can you reflect back to one concert, one moment where either you saw a light on everyone, even the music faded away, you were one with just the pulse of life, some sort of way to describe it? Can you take us into that experience at some point? Do you have one of those you can describe? It could be you t took a sip of Coke and it tasted like 10 Cokes. It could be anything, but some way to put some paintbrush strokes on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I love that because this is really difficult for people. So yeah, let me try to think of like, because I have I have more of a general sense and collective idea, but let me see if I can get really specific about one specific. Okay. So my body just reacted. It was a Fish concert, and actually it was in 2017. And it's more of a feeling. It's more of like a feeling. But I will say that I was leading my first retreat, women's retreat to Fish, where I had decided that I wanted to support women in doing fish in a different way than they might have done when they were in their 20s, like more self-care, more intention, more feminine bonding. And so I had put this retreat together with like five other women, but we had a house fire 2 to 3 days before this retreat. Like woken up 4 o'clock in the morning, fire alarm is going off. It was me, my husband, my son. We like escaped the house in the middle of the night. Very traumatic and like very much nothing else mattered except for our safety. We didn't have a home to live in. And I literally had this retreat I was running in like 3 days. And so I focused on getting us to a hotel that day before my son got out of school. So he felt like he had a home and focused on getting us like toiletries and, clothes, because all of our clothes, most of the things were smoke damage. Thankfully, things were salvageable, but like we couldn't wear anything and we didn't have any of our toiletries or anything. So, but my husband said, go to the retreat. Like, we'll be okay. You go do your thing. This is really important to you. And so I focused on getting them set up as much as possible. And then I flew to Colorado. And of course, I came into that retreat much different than I wanted to. But the first night of Fish, we were all on the floor and like I had settled my family. I had like created as much of a container as possible for these women that I was leading this retreat with. And I just like melted into the experience of being held by the community and the music. And Fish, for many people who connect with them, is such a spiritual experience. And like the songs that they play are like in the moment exactly what you need. And that's exactly what that show was like for me. So when I heard words that like, I can't even at this moment remember exactly what the songs were, but it was like something about a fire and something about being held. And then they have this song called More, where it's like vibrating with love and light, pulsating with love and light in a world gone mad, a world gone mad. There must be something more than this. And they play, and I love that song because I think that thousands of people singing those lyrics and feeling that energy and like moving their body in that way is so powerful. And so that song closed the first set, and I just like knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be. And even though I might not have been as strong and grounded as I wanted to be for that retreat, like I was being held just as much as I was there to hold other people. And so that's the experience that came to my mind when you said that.
I like it. Dream time. Have
Hmm.
you had dreams you remember? You've had very specific sacred moments. How do you want to describe your dream time?
Yeah, I love my dream time. Um, and I have had dreams that I remembered since I was very young. I used to have recurring dreams when I was little. I had dreams that snakes were like following me and but not like so then I was like, oh, snakes are my friends, snakes are my protectors, snakes are part of my animal spirit guides. Um, and I have recently really been trying to record more of my dreams. Like I was up first thing this morning with my journal, writing down exactly what I experienced last night. They are very much, I don't always know what they mean. And there are certain dreams that like will really stand out to me. And my mom has been in dream groups, and so I'll usually call her and I'll be like, okay, mom, we need we need to process this because I know that there's a message for me here. But I absolutely believe that spirit communicates through my dreams, and I've had a lot of messages come through dreams. Is there anything else you want to know about that?
No, that was awesome. If we're gonna back out of that topic for 1 second though, and just hit the audience with a different idea. What's the fastest, biggest, most embracing, loving way that an audience member can just turn to the universe or angels or everything that's loving and say, "Sock it to me, I'll take a lot more love." How could someone just go full stop? And we're not trying to skip the concert either, but what
Yeah.
would your advice be that if they're right now like, "I'm ready to drink that juice, but there's no juice."
Mhm.
How can somebody just turn to the universe right now? Is it taking a breath, smiling? I mean, is it a million ways? How do you like to describe this?
I mean, I would say just start with the intention. Like, I think intention is so powerful. I am all about how can we bring more intention. And I think just this is what I've seen in my life. Like, when I declare that, when I say that, this is what I'm ready for. And I mean it with an open heart, or as much of an open heart as one can have, because if they haven't experienced that, then it may be like, I know I want it, but like I don't know what that means. There may be some skepticism or like not open enough or whatever, but like they're open as much as they can be. And to say, I'm ready for this. And then to also remember to pay attention because when we ask for things, they're going to come to us. But we also have to be paying attention enough to recognize them. I also, I think Gabby Bernstein in one of her books, I don't remember which one, but she talks about, and people have different philosophies on this, but it was helpful for me to come up with your sign from the universe so that like you establish this is my sign. When I see butterflies, when I see a hummingbird, when I see a dragonfly, when I feel the wind, like you are establishing I this is the way that I know you're talking to me because it gives something concrete and a lot of people need that concreteness before they like as they're cultivating that experience. So that would be something that I could say to do as well.
I'll almost rephrase the prior question. What's one of your favorite mantras that anyone can use anytime?
Okay. Well, one of my favorite mantras is that I use all the time and is very effective is everything I need comes easily and effortlessly to me.
That's a good one. Just as a heads up, if I remember, we usually close out the shows these days with a mantra that you have to repeat 3 times, and it can't be one that came up previously in the show. I'll buy you time before we get to the end. Right
Good.
now,
I'll remember another one.
yeah, right now I'm going to do the classic thing. I'm going to light the sage, and if nobody knows what I'm talking about, welcome to the show. I try to remember to do this. I think we've done it in like 80, 90% of the shows. There's probably a dozen out of the 250 tape that we didn't do it. But you can catch sage smoke from where am I? Texas, anywhere in the world, and it doesn't matter if it's the year 2030, um, you're in Austria, Vienna, you're in London, or you're in Martinique. You can still catch the sage. It's not a time and space thing. It's not quite what you think. So, Leah, we've done this a couple times before when we first met, maybe off camera as well today. I'm a little slow today, but here it is. I've hopefully lit the sage. Some people start to taste it or smell it right off the bat. This is Juniper Ridge sage, the one that's in all the Whole Foods. Are you already getting the sage in California?
I am.
Do it. Blame the sage, blame the universe, blame angels, but don't blame Canada. Okay. If you could ask for something extra, though, from your crew, whether it's a butterfly flying by, a wind in your hair, just flowers, fun flowers, or North Carolina, South Carolina beach smell in the air. And you're in California on your way to the Carolinas at some point.
Mhm.
What are you getting that's extra right now?
Hmm. I'm getting the wind. I'm getting the wind through
Oh,
my hair.
awesome. And what I'd like to do is early put up one angel named Joy just for a topic. It'll come in one way or the other. It'll look like it came straight from her. It'll be from your guides. It'll be just a flash of inspiration. But I'm going to put up a photo, an actual photo of an angel. Can you have us? or sorry, can we have you get inspired? What are you getting, feeling, hearing, seeing? What's the topic?
The topic that,
You're going to talk about, you're going to run with like a football.
okay.
And she's joy, high peppy voice, emotion, joy, really big vibe.
I mean, joy is the topic that's coming to me.
Okay, why do we care about joy? What's that all about? And is it a really high vibe thing we need to pay attention to? Is it what we're striving for?
Well, I don't like the word striving, but because that, yeah, that implies we need both. But absolutely, joy is extremely important. And I think that, in my work as a therapist, I do a lot of nervous system regulation, which is about like peace and calm and relaxation. And that's really important. We need that. But we also really need joy. And I think that that's something that we forget because we get so busy doing all of our everyday tasks and taking care of everybody and everything that we forget that it's so important for us to feel and experience joy. I mean, joy is an alchemizer. Like every time we have an emotion, there's a chemical reaction happening in our body. And I think we all need to remember that. So, what emotions are we feeling on a regular basis, and how is that impacting our body? And when we feel joy, it helps to feed our body with really good neurochemicals and really good medicine. And it can be, like I said, easy to forget or easy to push off into like, well, I'll do that when I'm on vacation, or I'll do that when I have time. But actually, everybody can write a list, like a joy list. What are the things that bring me joy? And then make a conscious intention to really pay attention to that and to prioritize at least one of those a day, whether it's just watching a sunset or, you know, watching a funny clip and laughing or, whatever it might be, putting on a song and dancing. But yes, absolutely. Joy. And joy is a stress alchemizer. So, yes, relaxation and peace, they're going to give you the opposite. They're going to turn on that parasympathetic nervous system. But joy automatically does that too. And it really helps to elevate our mood.
Okay, beautiful. And I'm going to give you some door numbers here. See if I can get up to four. You can choose any and all the doors. These are just different topics. Awareness, slowing down, compassion, kindness, or number five, out of sort of the Tibetan Buddhist lineage thing. Chogyam Trungpa, I think, said it, opening openness itself. What topic, phrase caught your eye? Which door do you want to go with here?
Can you repeat those one more time?
Sure. Awareness, slowing down, kindness, compassion. I might have gotten it out of order. And opening openness was door number five.
I think slowing down.
Okay. And we were kind of touching on it, but let's scratch that surface a little more. How is slowing down such a key ingredient?
Yes. Well, when we slow down, we pay attention and I believe that pretty much everybody needs to slow down for many reasons in their life. Stress management is absolutely one. I mean, we are just like taken by so much. We wake up and we turn on our phones and we get notifications and we turn on the TV while we make our coffee and then we rush out the door. And it's like we are starting our day with a sense of activation that is going to deplete us before we even get to lunchtime. So slowing down in a physical sense is, for our physical health is extremely important. Um, but also to go deeper into more spiritual aspects, like we're not going to catch those messages from the universe if we're rushing everywhere and we are all in our heads. We're not going to be connected to our sense of intuition. We're not going to be connected to that reminder that we are connected to everything else. If we can be intentional in our slowing down, even if it's just like a little notch below what we are already. And certainly, I'll just give a plug for starting your day by being slow because we can set the tone for our day by the way that we start it. Like for me, I don't turn on my phone until after I have done my meditation and after I have done my journaling. I don't turn on the TV at all. And that's really important. I make sure I go for a walk in the morning. It's like I take that time to really settle in and be in connection. And when I'm on my walk, I'm not listening to anything. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm like with nature and everything around me and just with myself and my guides and all of the information that I can receive from all of that.
What's a special nature moment that stopped you in your tracks? It was the hawk on the tree branch, kind of you two talking. Did you get a
Mhm.
hummingbird right in front of you, butterfly, other, completely other, double rainbows? Can you name one of those moments that again stopped you in your tracks?
Yes. So I was at Esalen. For anybody familiar with Esalen, which is a retreat center in Big Sur, this was just a couple weeks ago. And at Esalen, they have, I mean, you can get Wi-Fi at the lodge, but essentially, like, there's no nothing. So however many days you are, you're not really on your phone, you're not doing anything. I was at the baths at night, which they have natural hot springs that you can soak in 24/7. And so I was soaking in the baths and it was amazing. I felt like I was in this temple and it was a full moon. And so like the moon is up and but I was walking back up the hill up to kind of the lodge and all of a sudden I saw the full moon and it was like the way that it was structured between like the trees and the lodge and the lights, like it literally took my breath away. And I was just like, and I have so many, I mean, I'm often, my breath is taken away by nature, whether usually it's the moon or the sunset. Like I really love the changings of times like that. Um, and hummingbirds are my sign from the universe nowadays. So I now have a hummingbird feeder right in front of my window, and I also have this little windsock where hummingbirds. I have this one that likes to sit on it, and it's like it to me it's like its own amusement park ride because it like goes around and around and around, and I it's difficult when I'm working with clients and I see it up there because I just want to watch it go around, but I have to pay attention to who I'm talking to.
Well, for complete disclosure, we finally had our patio finished, and I have a hummingbird feeder that I've moved off our back fence to on the porch. So it's like a little Grand Central terminal. Here in Texas, we get them early, like I think late February. No, 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 mid March. But like spring can start. Literally, the record was January 8th. I once had a sunflower seed come up in Austin, and now we're in San Antonio. And usually it's by February 8th to the 15th, spring starts. As an East Coaster, I mean, that doesn't usually happen until late April, May at best. Okay, here's the next thing. We are going to try to take some steps with the universe, just do something interactive, but you're going to get topics or something that pops up and want you to absolutely call a halt and share. I'll show my light with your permission on this. What's it? Cardboard construction paper, whatever I'm supposed to say. It's just a little bit of auras. And then with your permission, once you say some colors that you see, let the universe step in and go broader. Like you let go at the concert and go with the flow. Um, we'll just see what it is. But I get to tell a dad joke, most importantly. It won't be the one you heard before the show. I'll have to come up with a better one. It's Bert and Ernie Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? He says, "Sure, Bert." Okay, so I'm gonna put my two fingers up. People can look between my fingers. It'll be a little stream of light, like out of Celestine Prophecy, the movie. But as Sue Frederick said in 2024, a guest here who was around in the 70s, she's like, "Hey, we were doing this before the film existed, and in India they do it this way." But I'm standing, so it's awkward. Okay, here it goes. Everybody can just let go, breathe through the mouth, exhale like a whale, do anything, get shaky, throw those hips around. And you'll see like a little filament of light, blue, green, yellow, five colors at once. If it's rainbow light, pause this, run out, buy a lotto ticket. But we've got Leah Taylor, PhD, California on. She's going to do a little seeing for all of us. It's the heart doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. Here we go. And one more dad joke. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips. What are you getting?
Mm, I'm getting some greens and some blues, a little bit of violet.
And I'm going to go bigger and wider. Let angels, the universe come in and do extra. People have gotten flowers, symbols, graphics, whatever I'm trying to say, animals. You can get a butterfly. Let them do something. It might be vortices of light. What do you
I
get now?
I see sparkly light, like
That's the
um,
best answer of all. You're my favorite. You're invited back. Okay.
yeah, and it's like a it's like I mean it's kind of in the same pattern as your fingers, but it's like circly, um, but in a opening up kind of shape.
Oh, well, I'm gonna sit back down. I'm out of energy. Okay, that was really cool. I'm going to give you a couple quotes from famous folks. It could be Herman Melville, Eckhart Tolle, Don Miguel Ruiz, Einstein, Winnie the Pooh. And I'd love to get a reaction from any or all, or just something completely, what's that game? Disassociation. So it just sparked something else. So this is like nothing hard in any way. I'm going to give you five since I talked that way about it. Okay. There's a vegetable grower in Japan who's amazing. Every five-star restaurant wants his vegetables. It's almost like out of Findhorn back in the day. You know, watermelon isn't this big, it's 20 feet long. But he said, and he's really good at what he does, he listens, he pays attention, like he said. His name is Etsuo Asano. Never pretend to understand. Constantly remind yourself that you don't know what's going on, and the vegetables will help you understand them. Okay, next one. Angel said this one: faith is not knowing in life while letting go and loving. And here's one more. We'll end it with this one. A group of angels said, a breath is taking in one's own placement in the present moment. A breath is life. Which one, all three, or what sparked out of all that?
I think the second one.
Okay. And that was faith is not knowing in life while letting go and loving. Talk to
Yeah.
us more about it. Why? What got you with that one?
Well, because letting go, letting go can be really difficult. I am certainly a person who liked a lot of control, like I think a lot of people do. And it reminds me actually of this definition of flow, which I really love, and which was actually the first time I saw it was shown in a Venn diagram. It was on a shirt of a friend that they were wearing, and it had two circles, so we know a Venn diagram, right? So one circle was discipline, and the other circle was surrender, and in the middle of that is flow.
Ooh.
And I really love that because there's so much written about flow and it can get so heady. And it's like there's all of these criteria that you have to meet. But like thinking about that, discipline and surrender, where they come together as flow, is just really simple and easy. And so I think some people are better at discipline and some people are better at surrender. But when you can learn to enhance your ability to do the opposite that you are really good at, that is when we can find that flow with our life purpose, that flow with the universe. And so for me, I was always very good at discipline. And, that's kind of about being in control. Like, I'm going to make my goal, then I'm going to do my thing, and I know I'm good at it, but we can only push ourselves so far in that. And so surrender was something that I had to learn and I really had to lean into. And it feels scary for somebody who likes to be in control. But I do think that that is the ticket because we're not in control. And yeah, we can have our ideas of where we want to go, but it's so important to surrender to a larger path and to surrender to, how we're going to get there or when we're going to get there. And I like to say in manifestation, like our job is the what and the why. It's not the how and the when. And even in the what, to be open to this or something better, because we don't always know.
I like that. A person who flows is a flower or a flower. Okay, let's take you on your word on this. Let's have you let go and close your eyes. And if you don't mind putting your hands out like you're getting two $50 bills, one in each hand, not from the show, and it could be off camera. It doesn't matter. Whatever's comfortable for you, wherever your hands would be. And if you don't mind asking the universe to step in, your favorite angels, your favorite unconditional love figures, whether they're from India, Native American chiefs, Asian, passed over loved ones, ancestors, but only the cool ones. And have somebody come in and people at home, if you want to breathe through your mouth, even 1 millimeter counts, just an extra form of letting go. She's the expert on dropping into your body and being, what am I supposed to say again with that? Embodied. That's it. The great word. That is so important. She's maybe going to talk about that later, I hope. But she's allowing with a capital A and a capital W for why not. And you might get light on your eyelids. You might get a hand on your shoulder, a little squeeze, love. I'm going to blow through that microphone that's up above my laptop today. I'll just look like I'm blowing towards the laptop and leaning in a little. If you don't mind catching a little Hawaii your way to help set the table, ask the universe to really deliver something strong. And this is private to you. You can only share only what you want to share. And at home, say sock it to me to the universe. Angels be like, make it so. With a big thank you, amen, rock and roll, however you roll. Okay, Om Sai Ram if you're from India. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna blow. I'll try to make it really loud so Leah's got her eyes closed. She'll hear it. Here comes the first wave of aloha in Hawaii. Catch a little sea spritz on your nose. Nod or say got it on the next one if you get it. Here comes the big Hawaii sea spritz on the nose. Let joy be your ambassador on that. Did you get a little love, a little something?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. We're blaming angels for sure on that one. You can blame Canada too. Okay, and are you getting visual, smells? I forget all the auditory. What are all the other senses? Are you getting seven senses or is it six senses? What's the hotel chain that's the resort thing? Six senses.
Mhm. Yes, I mean, definitely visual. There was some kinesthetic, like feeling, sense. Um, those are the two main ones.
And it's not too late to have your back be the xylophone. So think keyboards and all the different colors of those chakras, the Hindu chakra, Kundalini Express, whatever that's called. They're fancy names for it, but have it played for you so that you're getting even more alignment and you almost have to take a bigger breath. And out of it comes some inspiration you can share with us, or a flashback to Esalen or the concert that hasn't happened yet. Let's go crazy. And oh, great time for me to do an audience reminder. Hey, an emoji counts for a comment, and that helps others get brave. They can do an emoji. Eventually, someone's going to crack and put words in there. We're at 703,000 channel visits, but it sounds better than it is, and it is fantastic how it is. No complaints, but feel free to share this, comment, like, subscribe. We need all the love in the world. And remember, love more, allow more, and don't take anything too seriously, especially ourselves. Unless it's Leah sharing good advice coming up in a second. Okay, Leah, come back when you're ready. And what can you share with us with all this?
Mhm. Okay. Um, well, what I heard
Ooh,
for us and the audience is go forth with love.
getting fried. Okay, good. And was it oh, I'm getting fried. Was it a voice or just you knew it was a voice? Which way do you want to describe it? Or was it even a full female voice?
It was, I knew it was a voice. It's hard to describe. I mean, I don't, I couldn't describe the sound of the voice, but I definitely heard it in words,
Good.
as I often do.
And anything else you want to add from that?
Um, I'll just say I had it was interesting in the beginning where, guides and things were coming to me. I had a woman who was like she was like my grandmother, but she was also my nanny, babysitter. She took care of me when my parents couldn't, because they were working all the time. And she showed up, and it's interesting because I learned a lot of my control from her. And it was almost as if she was like, I'm getting tears in my eyes right now.
She's like, don't take it so seriously now.
Yes,
Like, let
yes,
it go.
yes. She's like,
Yeah.
she didn't use words. It was more like her presence to let me know that like, yes, she imparted that in me, but that wasn't actually the right thing.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That was really special.
I'm going to rapid fire you with, by that I just mean I'm going to hold up four photos of angels. The fourth is four archangels, but I'm going to give you a Kapuna Auntie Margaret, a petite little lady from Hawaii at the end. If you don't mind, you can get something private, get a hug, get a little answer, get both. Get something. One you've already met, Joy. Folks at home can put up their hand, treat her like a fireplace. Leah, you can just feel her with your whole body or put up both palms, one palm. So there's a way to get it four different ways, seven different ways at once. So you can feel. You can get some flowers, get a hand on your shoulder, get a squeeze, get rippled down your back, plus words, and a formal hug, different than all the other feelings. This way, the brain can't track any of it or block any of it. And make sure you hear something really funny, especially about the last visitor. And just say, got it for us when you got it. Anything you do want to share, what's one thing out of that whole experience just now you would want to share?
She said she's right.
That was awesome. Okay, and Charlotte, she's everybody's favorite school teacher from third form if you're in Canada, third grade for the US folks, um, with words meant to help you expand. What are you hearing from her?
Well, I hear life is rhythm, rhythm is life.
Beautiful. One more in a single photo sort of way. My guardian angel, but 80,000 other people's guardian angel. And if people want to check this out, episode 110 from August 30th of last year, a former physician, Dr. Karen Wyatt. That's her guardian angel. She knew it right away. In September, it was Reverend Julie Moret of the, I can't pronounce anything correctly, Agape Spiritual International on the board, Michael Bernard Beckwith. She also had met this angel when she was in New York City doing the corporate stuff. And the first one, the physician, got to see her on the beach in Redondo Beach as a human. So put that out there to your angels to show up full human form. She's very oceany, soft-spoken professor, gentle, no judging. Catch a little ocean, think North Carolina, South Carolina, catch that relaxed, chill summer vibe.
Hmm.
And what do you want to share from her?
Just be.
That was good. All right, four archangels to pack it all in. Now they show up in so many different ways. But I've got Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. I just call them rainbow pie slices. Blueberry, strawberry, peach, and you pick the fourth fruit. Doesn't matter who's who. People can figure that out on their own. I cropped out the three others. Um, ask for something very special. I want to hear a little fish riff. I don't know my music language very well, but some sort of musical, something that makes you laugh and shake your head because you're like, oh,
Okay.
okay. Anything you can share there?
Well, the fish rift was the trick was to surrender to the flow.
Dude, I am psychic. Okay. Now, Kapuna Auntie Margaret, the way I describe her is I forget everything. There's like three things I can remember, and I'm going to share them real quick while I can remember them. How you spend your energy is how you spend your energy. Where you put your focus is where you put your focus, and angels exist. That's 15 years of learning, folks. Okay, Kapuna Auntie Margaret. She's love on a Hawaiian breeze, super gentle, super petite. And if anybody wants their hands activated, just call it extra warming or extra sparklies. That's what she's awesome at. I mean, ask angels to do everything if you're nervous at all. Here she is, Kapuna Auntie Margaret, sweetheart. Catch a lot of aloha, and I don't know if it's hibiscus, something in the air that's flowery. People would have to know Hawaii pretty well to get specific. And if you don't mind getting not just advice, have her share a lot of aloha and even some, I don't know what to call the indigenous medicine words right now, but a little extra oomph. How about that? I'm hearing for you, just you've got this, but it's going to be, she said it in a different way.
Mm, I love that.
Okay, was that a-okay, the Kapuna Auntie Margaret?
Yeah.
Good.
I feel like it's appropriate for the grandmother figures I brought in today.
That's why, as soon as you said it, I heard her. Okay, we're starting to wrap up. We still have about 5 minutes or so, or a little extra. I'll do one extra interactive thing, and I think we're done for the day, basically. I'll put my hand up in Texas, but it's angels all the way. I am not using any of my own energy, please. It's joy and everybody else. So if you could feel just a little something and put some words to it, you can use your whole body, you can put up your palm. Only love and above. Everyone gets an extra dad joke. It's Santa's. Ooh, my hands just got so hot, Leah. Or my hand got so hot. Santa's reindeer, Blitz and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. Okay, what are you feeling right now?
I feel energy in my hands.
It's pulsing a little. I mean, a lot. My hand got hot. I'm ready to pull it down. I'm gonna whoosh only two times today. I'm trying to cut it, keep it real low. I don't have much energy to use here, but two whooshes and just ask all the angels to make it nice. Here comes the first whoosh, small. Later it'll be big. Here comes the first. How were those apples?
Good.
Okay, if you don't mind asking for extra, we just ask for a capital E and a capital X, and ask for a capital T and an A if totally awesome T and A would also be good. But this is going to be bigger. I'll use both hands. Catch it front, catch it back. Did you get a much bigger whoosh?
Yeah, it felt like a wave.
Okay, I did not do that. That was angels, actually. What is now something that you feel compelled to share with all of us that's kind of percolated at the top from all these mini experiences? Is there something else, or I can read one more, two more sentences that are from my favorite statement of all time from angels, just about kindness, compassion. Do you want me to stall a little, or do you have something for us right off the bat?
I mean, I think the embodiment piece is coming up because you mentioned it and we haven't really talked about it. And it is a really large part of my work. And I didn't use that word when I was describing the concert experience at North Myrtle Beach, but that was actually what I felt was that I felt fully embodied. And I don't, I also don't think that a lot of people know exactly what that word means, but to me, it means being conscious of being living in a human body and all that comes along with that. So the emotional aspect, the thinking aspect, the connection to everything and everybody else. And I just think that the more that we can be embodied and especially embodied in frequencies of things like love, the more we are going to be able to create and see the change in this world that I know all of the people who are watching this right now really truly desire. It doesn't come from us being in our heads. It doesn't come from us trying to make somebody else different or make other things different. It actually comes from us coming back into our bodies and the things that are scary, like our feelings and our sensations. But the more that we can do that in a way that involves pleasure and it involves play and it involves joy, and we can connect with and feel that love, the more important that is because I think that's why we're all here.
Mm, that was so brilliant that I'm now going to task you with that final mantra. Repeat it three times for us so people can take in your vibe, your essence, your authenticity. Take your time with this. And thank you for everything you've been sharing. So, are you ready to go, or can I read that? How about I do this? I've
Okay.
got two or three sentences here that came from angels, and it's so gentle. And I don't get to read this enough on the show. So, sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment. So too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassion to all. Do it.
Mhm. Nice.
Leah, what's your mantra for us all? But you got to do it three times.
Okay, so this is the other mantra that I love to repeat all the time, and that is I am an incredibly lucky person. Magical and unexpected things happen to me every day. I am an incredibly lucky person. Magical and unexpected things happen to me every day. I am an incredibly lucky person. Magical and unexpected things happen to me every day.
Ooh, and we are incredibly lucky to have you as a guest. Leah Taylor, PhD, thank you so much for being on the APL Spotlight series. Total charm, total treat. Um, Totally amazing to have you here.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate all that you do. Thank you to your audience.
Thank you so much.
Bye.